Oh, hey there. Can we please talk about, everything that's been going on in mixed martial arts news? There were some fights at the weekend. I didn't actually bet on them, boo, because it's Bellator. What's the point? Am I right? Okay. You had Ryan Bader defending his World Championship, and you had a couple of things going on in the news. Not a huge amount, but I did make some hilarious memes, though, which we'll be having a laugh at later. If all that sounds good, stick around for the Burt Locker, episode 104. So, Ryan Bader, he was fighting at the weekend. He obviously lost his light heavyweight title a little while back because he was the light heavyweight and the heavyweight champion at the same time. Fair play to him, double champ. In Bellator. So it's kind of like the Intercontinental Championship. Like if you're talking like pro wrestling, kind of like. They're like the Division 1 if you're talking like football, I guess. I don't know. It's just, let's be fair, Bellator is just not like the level of competition. It's not quite there. Like it's why a lot of like the former UFC athletes will flock to Bellator because number one, right? Because this is again, it goes back to like the pay argument. So many people kind of whine on saying how Bellator pays better than the UFC. That's not strictly true, right? Because the thing is like in order to get paid well by Bellator, you have to have a name. How do you get a name? You fight in the UFC and you take advantage of their brilliant marketing and promotion and the fact that like you're on their brand, you're a part of their brand. If you're a UFC fighter at any point, then that is a huge feather kind of in your cap and you can use that to make more money elsewhere. And fair enough, that's how it works. But you do need that name of the UFC first because the UFC actually means something. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, so yeah, anyway. Whilst a handful of fighters who have made their name in the UFC or are former Pride legends, whatever, will get paid better in Bellator, a vast majority of the fighters they do not get paid better than their UFC counterparts. It just isn't true. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but just have a look at the numbers. They're all disclosed. Do you know what I mean? So people harping on about how Bellator pay better than the UFC. Could you please just have a look at the numbers, then have a word with yourself, and then, I don't know, throw yourself off a bridge or something, I guess. I don't know. But it's because I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of hearing how Bellator treat their fighters fairly. No, they fucking don't. They treat about a handful of fighters fairly. The rest of them get treated very unfairly, actually. Do you know what I mean? All of the early prelim fighters, you've got 12 to 16 fighters on an average Bellator card will walk away with less than $2,000, whereas the entry level pay in the UFC, even if you lose, is 10 grand. So you tell me which is more. Come on now. Anyway, I'm not going to get too much into that. It's a subject I care a lot about because at the end of the day, obviously, I think everybody should get paid more at the end of the day. I think it's part of the problem is that part of the problem of this world that capitalism is it's allowed for the 1% of the population to hoard about 95% of the world's wealth, and that is a problem. But it's not a problem exclusive to MMA, and it certainly isn't the UFC's fault. They're just playing the game in the rules that they're allowed to play by. Do you know what I mean? That's the issue here. So anyway, moving back on to Ryan Bader. Ryan Bader, he defended his belt against Valentin Moldavsky. I know. Who the fuck is that guy, right? No idea. He still made hard work of it. I did watch the highlights. I mean, there weren't that many highlights, if I'm honest, but it was a decent, solid enough performance to retain his heavyweight title. That is good. Look, Bader's 38 now. I don't know how long he's going to keep on going. Although heavyweights tend to go a lot longer, and he's going to stay at heavyweight now, I think, because next, apparently, he's got some sort of beef with Cheick Kongo. I mean, I had no idea Cheick Kongo was still alive. I thought that dude was dead. But apparently Bader's got some sort of beef with him. Apparently someone poked someone in an eye. I did look at it, but honestly, as soon as I saw Cheick Kongo's name, I basically fell asleep instantly. I watched that guy fight live once. It was awful to watch. Just terrible. Just so slow and just nothing happened. Come on, guys. So, yeah, look, Cheick Kongo. I used to really like Cheick Kongo because he's just... he wasn't particularly good like 10, 15 years ago. And now it's like 10, 15 years later, and I'm supposed to believe he's going to go in there and beat Ryan Bader. Not going to happen. Bader's going to take him down and probably smash him. I could see Bader actually getting a finish against Cheick Kongo at least. So there's that. But apparently that's going to happen in Paris. Yeah, you know, I might actually watch that one. I'm kind of interested to watch it because I do think that that's maybe a fight that Bader can get his teeth into. You know what I mean? But yeah. Next up, obviously, again, it seems like literally the only thing we ever hear about anymore is fighter pay. Like, we're arguing, it's just people arguing that one millionaire isn't being paid enough by another millionaire. It's bizarre, honestly. It's a lot of it is virtue signalling as well. It's just like, oh, I'm championing fighter pay. Fuck, shut up. They sign the contracts, they actually get paid. They get paid pretty well, and they do, let's be fair, right? Let's also remember, they're doing something they love. Like most of us, like we do like jiu-jitsu and things like that, all in our spare time because we enjoy doing it and we pay for the privilege. These guys are getting paid to do something they enjoy. And like whether you're getting paid millions or whether you're getting paid enough to get by, if you are managing to make money doing something that you really enjoy doing, that puts you into a very small percentage of people. And actually, it's quite a fortunate position to be in. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying, that is another side of the coin. I mean, by proxy, I think they should get paid more because I think everybody should get paid more, as I said earlier. But I don't think it's an exclusive problem to fighters. And actually, I think that, you know, a lot of the fighters that people start booing and complaining about, they're like not getting paid enough, are all on millions. And it's like, what, you don't think that's enough? Okay. All right then, fair enough. Whatever. Anyway, Figueiredo, he wants a cool million for his fourth fight with Moreno. Now, hey, look, that's at least realistic, isn't it? Because look, when you look at the when you look at what he's actually on here, I'll put all the figures up here. All the figures were actually posted on what is it called? Sports Rush, something like that. I'll bring it up now. You can see that I really prepared very well here. Why won't this folder open? Oh, for God's sake, where have I put... Okay, hold on. Give me one moment. I'm so sorry. This is just terrible podcasting. And... yeah, no, I don't even know where it is. But, yeah, the sports... Anyway, look, I'm going to put it on there. I think he got paid like something like 600,000 or something like that. Here we go. Yeah, the Sport Rush. Here it is. For God's sake, I'm sure I took a picture of that earlier. But anyway, yeah, Davison Figueiredo. Yeah, 300 grand. His total was 570. Right, that's the total he walked away with before pay-per-view buys. So, yeah, that's not really that is not too bad. You know, and actually, you know, him asking for like for a cool million, that's not out of the realms of possibility. I mean, I don't think he'll get a million. I think he'll probably realistically settle for about an 800,000 basic purse, which is still good. After pay-per-view buys, he's still going to be hitting a million with that. So look, that's a pretty reasonable request. So I think he'll probably get that. You know, and you know what? Moreno versus Figueiredo, it's always entertaining. Even the last one, every single encounter has been entertaining. So yeah, I would watch that again. But I mean, eventually, like both men are going to have to fight somebody else, right? Like they can't keep doing it over and over again. As much as I do enjoy it. I will watch a fourth fight. Yeah. End of the day, he'll probably settle at 800,000 if he's even in a position to negotiate at all. Because you've got to remember, a lot of these fighters, they sign like 5-fight deals, and then it's like after 2 fights, they're like, I want a better deal. It's like, okay, I mean, you've got 3 fights left on your deal though, so unfortunately, you know, I'm looking for a leg to stand on, but I just don't see one anywhere. Sorry, man. Yeah, so I mean, it depends how many fights he's got left on his contract, I guess. Paul Daley is now unfortunately retiring. He's slated to fight in May. He's actually, yeah, it's a shame this because, you know what, Paul Daley was also, he's got such a fan-friendly style. That fight with Diaz was amazing, even though he came up short in that one. What an amazing fight. Go back and watch Paul Daley against Nick Diaz in Strikeforce. If you haven't seen that fight already, it's a tremendous fight. I won't ruin the result. I guess I did just ruin the result. Either way, it's an old fight. Hey, look, the fight happened like more than 10 years ago. You can let me off for ruining the result, all right? Give me a break. Jesus Christ. Anyway. Yeah, sad to see Paul Daley go. I've been fortunate enough to see him live a couple of times, and when that dude hits that left hook, you feel it throughout the arena. You feel that shit. That power just, boom, it echoes through the arena, and it's incredible. What a brilliant athlete, great career. I think it's a shame that he never really got another chance in the UFC after hitting Koscheck after the bell. He probably shouldn't have hit Koscheck after the bell. It was a stupid thing to do. But in his defence, Koscheck was being a knobhead and is a knobhead. And at least Paul Daley had a fan-friendly style. I don't know if he'd have gotten to the belt. He has certainly fought for it. And you know, that left hook, when it connects, it can put anyone's lights out. And I'm going to be really sad to see him go. But I wish him all the best. He just says that he's tired and his back hurts. So, yeah, he's got to call it a day. I'm sure he will make money, coaching, training, because he is going to be a fountain of knowledge when it comes to kickboxing and mixed martial arts, so I'm sure he's going to be just fine. And thanks for all the knockouts, Paul. Like, honestly, really mean that. What a tremendous fighter. Like, nothing but respect for that man. And Gustafsson versus Rothwell is in the works. Well, again, similar to Cheick Kongo, I thought Gustafsson was dead. I thought he'd tried to bulk up too much and had a heart attack and died. No, I'm kidding. Slate for May 21st. Honestly, I don't like this for Gustafsson. Gustafsson has said several times that he doesn't even want to fight anymore. He just wants the paycheck. That is not great, because is he going to be taking it all that seriously? Look, he could go down to light heavyweight now. He's aware that John Jones has basically relinquished light heavyweight at this point. But Gustafsson could go down to light heavyweight and he could get a belt at this point. He's not beating Francis Ngannou. He's not beating Cyril Gane. Do you know what I mean? Because Gustafsson is not a heavyweight. You can see it in his build. You watch it at the weigh-ins. When he weighs in against Ben Rothwell could not make 205 if he cut off his damn leg, right? Whereas Gustafsson can make 205 pretty easily. He's tall, but his frame isn't there. The thickness is in the bones. It's in the neck. It's just like you look at how thick. Look at how thick Verdum was in comparison to Gustafsson. Gustafsson literally looked like he just hadn't trained. And that's another problem. How's it like he doesn't have to make that weight anymore? How seriously is he taking it? You know what I mean? And does he want to make a run at the heavyweight title? Is he actually considering that? I don't think he is, honestly. I think he just wants another payday. And I think that's how you end up getting really hurt. Because obviously, like Verdum, he went through him like a hot knife through butter, as I said he would as well. I might point that out, that Verdum was coming in as a massive underdog in that fight, which was quite frankly an insult, and I got some excellent odds on Verdum by submission. I think it was like 7-1. I was like 7-1 on Verdum to get the submission. Are you mental? Are you crazy? And I was happy to take those odds, and I had a very good weekend that weekend. But yeah. But my point stands. Gustafsson looked terrible in it, because they were saying, yeah, but whilst it was standing, Gustafsson was looking really good. No, he wasn't. What fight were you watching? He looked slow, cumbersome, uncoordinated, because he just looked like a fat, out of shape Gustafsson. He didn't look like he'd been bulking up. It's not like he came in like having like powerlifting and added some real power and strength. He'd just been fucking eating. Do you know what I mean? That's all he's been doing. That's not how you go up to heavyweight. At least John Jones is deadlifting and trying to do it right. I don't think that John Jones will even do well at heavyweight. But at least he's trying to put the weight on correctly. Gustafsson just eats more cake by the looks of it. Jesus Christ. And Ben Rothwell is no joke. Ben Rothwell, if he gets hold of your neck, he is choking you out. If you get into a firefight with Ben Rothwell and you are not fully prepared to get hit by a guy who is big as they come and can hit hard, he is the king of Kenosha, for fuck's sake. Show some goddamn respect. Although I do think it could be a competitive fight, because obviously I think it will stay standing slightly longer than the Verdun fight. Although I would add, Ben Rothwell is fucking slick when it comes to submissions. He will get your neck and he will fucking tap you out. And considering how easily Verdun went through Gustafsson when he took that option, it might be that Ben Rothwell just takes the easier option. But I don't think that Gustafsson's going to have a particularly good time standing with him either. I think this is a horrible fight for Gustafsson. I think that Ben Rothwell I think he could get a cheeky submission. I really do. But anyway, we will see. It might not be a massacre like the Verdun fight, but you know, maybe on the feet, Gustafsson could be quicker, could be a, because he, you know, when you saw him against Glover Teixeira, when he did that like Mortal Kombat combination kind of finisher like thing, it was brilliant. But I don't see him doing that to Big Ben Rothwell. Big Ben Rothwell is a lot better than he gets given credit for, and I see he's been around a long time, and you know, he can hit and he can submit. So we'll see which Gustafsson turns up. Maybe Gustafsson's actually been putting the weight on correctly this time. But if he hasn't, if he just looks like a fat, doughy, light heavyweight, you know, a la Gian Vellante, I'm going to be putting some money on Ben Rothwell, I think. Anyway, Troll of the Week this week. I didn't really see that many good ones, so I actually created a couple of my own. Now, my Ngannou meme is pretty good, to be fair. Like, give me some credit here. So I've got Francis Ngannou, I've got the picture split into two. On the left, you've got Francis Ngannou saying, "I've run out of money after not fighting for 10 months. Then on the right, also Francis Ngannou, "I'm going to sit up for a year so I can lose in boxing." Which is it, Francis? Which is it? Have you run out of money, or do you have enough to just sit out your contract? Because don't forget, after you've sat out your contract, you've still got to rely on Tyson Fury even taking the fight. He might have gotten bored of the idea by then. So, yeah, it's not without risk. Sitting out, honestly, there's still a lot of money on the table. He still earns. People say that he doesn't get paid enough. He's been earning quite a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? More than enough for him to put money away and easily set himself up for the future. Not being funny, but then I also had this one's more of a much more light-hearted one. You've got because I did see Ronda Rousey obviously winning the Royal Rumble at the weekend, and I managed to combine WWE, MMA, UFC, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and the US office. Am I a comedy genius? Who knows? That's not for me to say, right? But this meme I was pretty proud of, because it's the one where, you know, Pam's getting Creed to kind of like to find the differences in the two pictures, but they're the same picture. And I've got Ronda Rousey in the Royal Rumble, and I've got Rob McElhenney as the Nightman. It's the same picture. My God, they look so goddamn similar. And yeah, and then you've got obviously Pam saying they're the same picture. And yeah, I created that one, and I'm pretty proud of it. And that is all I have got time for this week. There are some fights on this weekend. I believe it is Mr. Sean Strickland taking on Jack Hermansson. Last time I checked, there weren't actually any other fights confirmed on that one yet, but that's going to be a fun fight. Anytime we get to see Sean Strickland in there is going to be a good time. So I'm going to be getting those bets up on the Patreon on Friday, and then they will all be released on the YouTube on the Saturday. So if you want those picks on the Friday, go and check out the Patreon. I want to thank you all again for all of your support, and if you could please like, share and subscribe, it really does, it helps me out a lot. And if you want to support further, go and check out the Patreon. There is extra stuff and early access to videos on the Patreon. It's literally £1 a month. It's like buying me a can of Coke every month, which would be massively appreciated. But anyway, until next time, keep those odds long and those bets terrible.